Hello and welcome back to Scout Report. One of the biggest stories of the Premier League this season has been Sheffield United. Written off as certainties for relegation, the Yorkshire side have defied expectations by not only surviving, but emerging as serious contenders for European football. But how have they done it? We will explore their unorthodox brand of football, their unity, and the influence of their now legendary manager Chris Wilder to see how the Blades have rocked the Premier League. The Blades' forgotten revival. Cast your minds back to August 2019 and you would have been forgiven for paying little attention to Sheffield United's return to the Premier League. Ever since their controversial relegation to the Championship back in 2007, time hasn't been too kind to the Blades. A spiralling wage bill and high turnover of managers eventually saw them fall into League One, where consecutive playoff defeats confounded their misery. Things would all change in May 2016 with the arrival of Chris Wilder as manager. Sheffield born and bred, their former player would have a seismic impact at the club. The next season he achieved promotion back to the Championship with a club record 100 points, before completing their remarkable ascension to the Premier League by finishing second in 2018-19. And it was all managed on a modest budget, with Wilder mainly utilising the core side of British and Irish players he had inherited, as well as low-cost misfits and free transfers. Out of the three promoted sides, the Blades were considered the worst equipped for the Premier League. Norwich City were an aesthetically pleasing goal-scoring machine, while Aston Villa were backed by the wealth of an Egyptian billionaire. But Sheffield United had fallen into the grips of a power struggle between former owner Kevin McCabe and new Saudi investors that threatened to derail their transfer plans. Nonetheless, they would break their own transfer record 4 times, spending €48.5 million on the likes of Ollie McBurney, Lys Mousset and Luke Friedman. Even still, as their opening fixture away to Bournemouth came around, they were odds on to head straight back to the Championship with every bookmaker. But just how wrong they were. Dean Henderson. Among all the millions spent on new recruits, probably the most intelligent piece of business done by Wilder was to bring Manchester United reserve keeper Dean Henderson back to Bramall Lane on loan. In the Championship promotion campaign, the Englishman had been exceptional. No other keeper in the league bettered his 21 clean sheets, while he would concede just 41 times, a rate of less than 1 a match. Only Darren Randolph, Jack Butland and Nottingham Forest's Costel Pantilimon came close to him, all 3 full internationals with Premier League pedigree. With his path to the #1 shirt at Old Trafford blocked by David De Gea signing a bumper new long-term deal, a return to Sheffield to gain Premier League experience made sense, and that decision has turned out to be a masterstroke for all parties involved. Any worries the 23-year-old would be daunted by the step up in class have been quickly dispelled. On 10 clean sheets for the season, he ranks just 1 behind Burnley's Nick Pope, who's out on top in the Premier League. But while his fellow Englishman has conceded 40 goals, Henderson has been beaten just 22 times, reducing his goals against ratio from 0.89 per game the year before to 0.81. He may only have faced 91 shots on target all season, but a save percentage of 75.8% shows he has been ready when called upon. Only Alisson, Kasper Schmeichel and Leno can boast a better percentage. Saves aside, his all-round game has been remarkably impressive for someone with just 110 lower league appearances coming into the campaign. He ranks 6th out of all Premier League keepers for punches with 11, 9th for high claims with 16, and 7th for clearances with 21, proving himself to be a trusted and reliable last line of defence. His pass success rate may be a disappointing 35%, but that could be down to his manager's preference for him to send the ball long, which is a higher risk strategy. A confident keeper can breathe life and belief into the team, demonstrated no better than West Ham United's implosion when Fabianski got injured, and Henderson has quickly shown experience and composure beyond his years. A place in the England squad seems almost certain. Defensive stability. Football can be a simple game sometimes. Defend hard and the points will come. Very few teams have grasped that concept quite as well as Sheffield United. With only 25 goals conceded this season, the defensive record is the joint 12th best in the whole of Europe's top 5 leagues. Though Dean Henderson is quite rightly getting plaudits for his performances, the defensive unit he plays behind deserve a huge amount of credit too. A quick look at the statistics and it's clear the Blades prioritise defending over attacking. Setting up in a 3-5-2, they average only 45% of the ball and take just 10.2 shots per game, the second lowest in the division. The flip side of that is they are dominant in the air, with only Burnley winning more than their 25 aerial duels per game, while they only face on average 11.4 shots every match. For context, that is just 2 more than Liverpool, and 3 less than Arsenal and Tottenham. What is interesting is that their ground game is far less physical. They only rank 12th in the league for tackles per game on 16.8, 10th for fouls committed, and 20th for passes blocked per game on 6. Instead, the key to their success has been their dedication to maintaining their shape. Incredibly, every side who faces the Blades have to take on average 49.5 passes for every shot they take. This is the joint most in the Premier League alongside Guardiola's Manchester City, and shows just how difficult it is to create opportunities against them. What is even more remarkable is how much of this has been achieved with the same group of players who played in League One just 3 seasons ago. Despite all the new transfers, only 14 members of the squad have played more than 500 minutes of league football, with Wilder staying loyal to his long-standing heroes like John Fleck, who understand his demands. It is telling that Dean Smith has used 28 players this season at Aston Villa as he struggles to find consistency after spending £143 million on 16 new players. The defence has been the area Wilder has been most reluctant to tinker with. Their principal centre-half trio of Jack O'Connell, Chris Basham and John Egan have now collectively made a huge 483 appearances for the club, while the entire back five including Ender Stevens and George Baldock cost just £5 million to assemble, with Egan's fee making up 80% of that. It has meant defensive recruits like Phil Jagielka have hardly got a game. The greatest success story among the defensive line is without doubt Chris Basham. The 31-year-old has now made 240 appearances for the club as they have risen through the divisions, but is currently in the best form of his career. This season he has made 61 tackles and 60 interceptions, both the highest of any player in the division. Not only that, he ranks second for overall duels won with 193, and the same again for headed clearances with 80. Not bad for a player signed 6 years ago on a free transfer from Blackpool. It just goes to show how much can be achieved with the right coaching, loyalty and tactical preparation. The midfielders and attackers are equally integral to the defensive effort, creating a synchronisation and unity that is the envy of every other Premier League manager. All in it together. This collective hard work is what makes players like David McGoldrick prove invaluable to the club, despite on the surface appearing to have had a difficult season. The fan favourite may have scored 15 times as they achieved promotion, but he has yet to find the net this season. To make things worse, the forward has an XG of 7.2 from 36 attempts, the highest of any player not to score in the division by some distance. You would think this dismal showing would cost McGoldrick his place in the side, but Wilder has continued to use the Irishman. He has started 16 games with a further 5 sub-appearances, playing 341 more minutes than joint top scorer Lys Mousset. That's because his defensive contribution and ability to create space has been excellent so far. No centre-forward in the Premier League has made more tackles than McGoldrick's 36. While he ranks 6th for aerial duel wins per 90 with 4.3. McBurney is in 3rd place with 7.8, who coincidentally is the only forward to win as many aerial duels as he loses, showing how bullish the Sheffield forward line really are. McGoldrick also receives a lot of credit for the work he does off the ball. He may only have 2 assists to his name, but it's his dummy runs and awareness that make him so dangerous. So it's no surprise to see he has the highest expected goal chain per 90 in the squad with 0.64. This means he is the most likely player to be involved in the build-up to a goal, dropping from deep and hustling the opposition for the benefit of the side. While a goal would certainly give his season the shine it deserves, make no mistake McGoldrick has been hugely influential. Wilder's maverick attack. To say Sheffield United's success is purely down to their defensive attributes would not be doing them justice. They have managed to marry high work rate and dedication with a unique attacking style that has made them an unpredictable and dangerous opponent. In a tactic hardly seen in football, Sheffield United deploy overlapping centre-backs with a central midfielder dropping deep. The main defender, John Egan, remains fixed in his position, while Basham and O'Connell are encouraged to push forward into the opposition half outside their traditional wingers. By doing this, the Blaze flood the wide positions, stretching the opposition. It allows space to be generated for their main creators to manoeuvre the ball into the box, where their 2 forwards and deep-running midfielders like Fleck or Lundstrom wait. As a result, only 19% of their players come through the middle of the pitch, with no other team in the Premier League focusing their attack on the wings as much as the Blades. This holistic style also means their defenders have posted very impressive attacking returns. Ender Stevens and George Baldock have been exceptional with 9 goal involvements between them, while no centre-back in the league has attempted more than Basham's 1.1 dribbles per game, completing 0.7. Jack O'Connell leads the way with 0.5 key passes per 92. In addition, they are very efficient in calculating and deciding where and when they shoot. 73% of their efforts come from inside the box, a figure no other side in the division can match. By doing this, the Blades have managed to intelligently negate the fact they are not prolific goal scorers, maximising the efforts they have in the locations that are easiest to score. With all their aerial domination, you would assume they would rely on set pieces to find the net. But while teams like Burnley and Newcastle have scored 9 and 12 times from set pieces respectively, the Blades have managed just 6 goals from free kicks and corners, with only 2 from counter-attacks. This is testament to the fact they actually use efficient passing football to break down the opposition, which is no mean feat in the Premier League. Their relentless work rate plays into their attack too. So far they have picked up 13 points from losing positions, the 4th best in the Premier League, having gained a result in 9 of the 16 games they have fallen behind in. It doesn't help that VAR has cancelled 5 of their goals too, with no side suffering more at the hands of the new system. Wilder's attacking style may be unheralded in the Premier League, but if it continues to produce results, it could well be set to stay. In their opening game against Bournemouth, living legend Billy Sharp scored an almost poetic 87th minute equaliser to send Sheffield United into a Premier League dreamland, from which they haven't woken. But in reality, there is nothing extraordinary about how they have rocked the division. They combine a fearless collective attacking approach with a defensive rigidity and understanding that is second to none. It is not just Sheffield United by name, but also by nature. Chris Wilder has the complete respect of his players, as well as the fans who turn up in force every week to Bramall Lane. Very few sides have managed to combat their unique brand of football, or cope with the intensity Wilder demands and receives for the full 90 minutes. In a division as fickle and futile as the Premier League, where even the biggest teams can come unstuck, Sheffield United's harmony and total cohesion has proved a powerful key to success. And that's all we have time for today, but if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. And finally, in these difficult times, please do remain indoors, wash your hands and stay safe. Bye for now.